God damn it. Why is it that when I think a movie is going to suck so bad because of all the insane hype that it's building up to, why, oh why, can I just not be proven wrong? Well, Avatar, that was one time. But since then, I want something to finally prove me wrong. I just got back from seeing the Avengers. Oh, and by the way, I don't need to do an introduction because you guys know who I am. Seriously, it isn't that hard to remember. I got back from seeing the Avengers today, finally, because everybody's saying, "Did you see the Avengers? I saw it. It was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life," and all that other stuff. I wanted, my opinion at least, to be different than the general consensus. It isn't. Damn it, Avengers. Wow. Well, I might as well, since this is a crossover of 4 other movies in Marvel's recent cinematic universe collection, I might as well quickly share my thoughts on those before I get to the main attraction. Okay. We have The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, and Thor. Actually, to save you guys some trouble, after this video you can, once I eventually get around to it, I'll be uploading a pre-commentary of sorts with my little clan, talking a little bit about what we thought about the Avengers before seeing it. I have already seen it. Saki Branton and Cage Freak 58743 have already seen it. So it's only a matter of time before the others see it. But never mind, I don't have to talk about the movies. If you've seen them, good. If you haven't, well, this is a good way to introduce them. Let's start off with our main characters. First up, Hulk. Now, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Hulk. I mean, he's pretty cool and stuff. And I've seen the 2003 version of the movie and the 2008 version. We're going off the 2008 version. And they just replaced Edward Norton. I don't know why Edward Norton would not want to be a part of this. He must have had a good reason. But this new Mark Ruffalo guy... well, he got the character down at least, to an extent. But he wasn't really that great. However, the Hulk, when he was in battle... that was pretty cool. A lot better, I thought, than the 2008 version. It's much more in your face. The effects are a lot better, too. I liked him, though. He was good. A little better than I thought. Captain America. Now, I do not like Captain America. I never really have. Especially after seeing, oh my god, Captain America, the first Avenger, you need to see it. Well... guess what? I did see it, and it kind of sucked. But in this, though, I was actually pleasantly surprised. He is a douche, still, but he's not as bad of a douche than he was in the first movie. At least in this, he gets some form of character development, and that's good. At least this movie knew how to... sorry if I keep scratching my head. At least this movie knows how to handle the characters that it's given and actually add on to them, which I think is great, because it's not just about explosions in it. It's actually about characters and story development, and that is what I believe makes a good action movie. Not just all the tits and explosions and all this other stuff. No, you have to actually care about the characters in order for it to make sense, and in order for it to work. And the Avengers did that properly. Now, comparing Chris Evans' performance in the Avengers to the movie Captain America, very big improvement, if I must say, in terms of acting, in terms of personality, and in terms of fighting, too. Captain America actually got to kick some... he got to kick some pretty good ass in this, and I was surprised. Hawkeye. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going, who? Well, picture him basically like the Green Arrow of the Marvel Universe, and he got a lot to do in this. He actually got a little bit of character development, and I have to say, it was really cool watching his stuff. Hawkeye to me proves that you don't need any fancy schmancy superpowers in order to, you know, be all that. I mean, you can rely on technology every now and then. Like, I remember this one character from, like, Static Shock who relied on technology. Hell, Iron Man relies on technology, too. So, really, you're only I guess you're really only defined as a superhero if you prove yourself and be heroic. I don't really know what the super part is, but I guess to each their own. But Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, he's going to be the new Jason Bourne, and I must say, I am impressed. He has a lot of talent, and I've seen him in The Town. That was pretty good. He's just a mysterious kind of guy, and I feel the way he played Hawkeye in this was very well put together. Plus, all the cool stuff that he got to do in terms of action, that was quite unique. I haven't seen really an archer be that awesome in a long, long time. Except Legolas, but that's a different story. Nick Fury, who actually got to kick some ass in this, but he didn't really get to kick a lot of it, just some. It was nice to see a lot more of him, and it's a lot nicer to see him in action, to see how he handles the stress. He's a good leader. I will not deny him that. And it was, well, I was waiting for him to just really snap and say, "I'm so sick of these No, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do the quote. You guys already probably know what the quote I'm referring to anyway. But he did a good job. I was impressed. Thor. Now, I like Thor already. I still wish they got Triple H to play him, though, with all the moves he did and stuff. But Thor got to do a lot of ass-kicking in this, and that was pretty cool. The most of the jokes they threw in there, I thought was pretty funny. I want to quickly go off, though, and like, there was this one part in the movie where he's like, he may be cruel, but he's my brother, and then Nick Fury's like, he killed 88 people in 2 days, and he's like, he's adopted. And apparently, this adoption agency got all their panties in a bunch, saying, it was not right of Thor to say that. We want a public apology. Yeah, you might as well wait in line behind the Pentagon, who said they didn't want to be a part of this movie because they found it to be unrealistic. Yeah, and the U.S. Navy got to participate with Battleship. That's totally realistic, guys. America. Hypocrisy is everywhere. Speaking of hypocrisy, Captain America. If you're the symbol of America, and you think you're all that badass and stuff, and you're trying to be a symbol for this nation, you're not that special. You got your powers from a bottle. You use drugs to be Captain America. Definitely not a good image to set for yourself, just saying. Anyway, back on track. Thor. It was great to see Thor in action. It was great seeing him interact with the others, especially with the Hulk. That was pretty funny, some of the stuff they did. And I look forward to seeing more of him. I felt, though, he could have deserved just a little more screen time, because I felt he was the one that didn't get a lot to work with. Agent Coulson. Now, he's the guy that's always been in the background, but he actually got something to do in this. The whole... Oh, wait. I should say, I don't want to spoil anything, but he gets one good moment in this. It's so tear-worthy. Yeah, I didn't cry at this. I didn't cry when Rue died in the Hunger Games. Though I didn't cry during the Muppets. That's saying something. Anyway. Good to see him back. Good to see a little bit of personality from him, especially with his interaction with Captain America. There was some pretty lol-worthy moments there, but I won't spoil them. Loki. Wow. Much better job in this than in Thor. You really get to see the cunning, devious nature to him. And Tom Hiddleston... Props, man. You are one of the best Marvel enemies I have seen in a long time. You carried yourself well. The creepiness, especially with that big old Cheshire Cat smile, that was amazing. And all the mind games you've played, that was great too. And then I'm interested to see if he does make a return. I want to see what else he can do. But if this is all we're going to see from him, I say he went out in a blaze of glory. Black Widow. Like I said in my pre-commentary, but you haven't seen it yet. It's Scarlett Johansson in a black jumpsuit. Apparently being a super spy is enough to be a superhero. Okay, if that's the criteria that passes, then sign Johnny English and James Bond up then. It was interesting to actually see some more of her, especially with her interactions with Hawkeye and interactions with Bruce Banner. That was actually well put together. She's not just a pretty face; she can actually, fight. And I'm glad to see that she's a strong female protagonist and not just some bimbo in the corner. Thank God. And then, in my opinion, the real hero, Iron Man. Iron fucking Man. Robert Downey Jr., you are so amazing. Iron Man 1, I loved it. It's one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. Iron Man 2, probably not so, but nevertheless, he really got to shine in this. He stole the show, in my opinion. And it was so interesting to see how he interacted with everyone else. We see the little budding rivalry between him and Captain America. We see the intellectual side of him with Bruce Banner. We got to see a bit of the snarkiness against Thor, against Loki, against everything. And he gets a lot more to do in this in terms of combat, and all the combat stuff he does is amazing. Simply amazing. I find it funny also that since Black Sabbath did Iron Man, the song, he's wearing a Black Sabbath t-shirt. I found that to actually be a nice little quirk. And paying, a little tribute to Black Sabbath, of course. I'm not a Black Sabbath fan, but I think their music is alright. The Avengers characters all put together are a well-oiled machine. They operate off of one another. The interactions with them are great, especially the stuff with Iron Man, of course. Like I said, steals the show. And characters is an important part of a story. You can't just rely on explosions or anything. Take notes, Michael Bay. Speaking of the action, the hand-to-hand combat and everything, and the explosions, okay. I like me some good explosions. I love me some good action. The Avengers definitely delivered on that. Everything seems fluent, combined with the special effects, which, by the way, the special effects are fantastic. Especially with all the destruction that goes around, all, big things flying from the sky, all the fighters, and the cinematography, of course, is fantastic, honestly. When you make an action movie, action and story go hand in hand. They should go hand in hand, and that's the important part. And in this case, it delivered. And I'm very proud to say that on that department, Avengers already gets a pretty high score from me. Now, the other thing that should matter is the music. And wow, the music is definitely what you can expect from a Marvel movie. Very proud, very triumphant, very epic. That's the one word I would use to describe this movie. Epic. In terms of epic music, epic special effects, epic story, epic characters. And there's so much more you can do with these characters. Now, I realize I left some Avengers out. Spider-Man's eventually got to get there, but he's got to get through his own movie. I feel sorry for him, though. With the Avengers, making $1 billion in just 2 weeks, Spider-Man's thinking, well, shit, now what am I going to do? He's sandwiched in between the Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises. He's there in the middle thinking, okay, I'm just going to get walked over and then everybody's going to fangasm over The Dark Knight Rises. I'm telling you, People thought that The Hunger Games was good, and that made a lot of That made a lot of money. Then the Avengers comes and just kicks Hunger Games' ass out of the door in the room. There's no comparison between the two, obviously. But when Dark Knight Rises comes, I'm pretty sure it's going to come pretty close to the Avengers. Can't say that I'm entirely looking forward to it. I mean, I am, but I just have this lingering feeling that it's going to become quickly overrated. But other than that, those are. Wow, I need to talk today. I'm still kind of awestruck by some other stuff. Oh, best scene in the movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to be there. And when I say that, if you still have the chance, go, flee to the theaters. It's best to see this with like an entire theater packed, because when there's funny moments, you hear the laughter. When there's action moments, you go, ooh, damn. It reminded me a lot of Real Steel, where you're on the edge of your seat, like, come on, come on, come on, or stuff like that. That's how close the action gets to you, and that is a good sign right there. The one scene I'm referring to, if you haven't seen it, you'll know it. Hulk and Loki. That is all I need to say. You saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, you laughed your ass off at it. For those that haven't seen it, you're going to be very impressed. And the last note I would like to say, I liked Act 1 and Act 2 and how they slowly started to build up. And when they got to Act 3, they unloaded everything. Like a machine gun. Constant action. Constant violence. Constant special effects. And then it rode it out to a smooth climax. I think action movies need to take notes from the Avengers. And if Justice League is ever going to make, film debut, they're going to have to try very, very, very hard to even come close to how awesome the Avengers is. These are my thoughts. I am FlameAmigo619. If you have not seen this movie, I definitely recommend it. It's a full-price movie for sure. Pay the money to go see it. And I'm actually glad I waited till now to see it, because thankfully the lines weren't that, backed up. But those are my thoughts. You may agree with them, you may disagree with them, whatever. Make sure to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, all that other stuff. Wow, this is the first time I've actually done this. And all that other stuff, and I will see you later. Eventually. All that other stuff.